Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome to this year's edition of the Billy Kaylor Show, where we cover everything on the Black Hole with the Chuckey-Doak Black Knights. This year I'll be sitting down with new Black Knights head coach Billy Kaylor to discuss everything through Chuckey-Doak football. Coach, how are you doing this evening?
Doing well, man, doing well.
How have you enjoyed it so far here at Chuckey-Doak?
We've really enjoyed it. Getting settled in. My wife and kids are getting settled in, very happy, so it's been really good.
I wanted to ask you about that first and foremost, too, because you're actually from out of state. I think if I remember correctly, you're from South Carolina, correct?
Yes, sir.
So go ahead and introduce yourself, talk about your background within the sport a little bit, your previous coaching positions, and just give everybody a little insight on your career.
I'm originally from Central Florida. I've lived in Alabama, went to high school in Georgia, played college football at Presbyterian College in South Carolina. 11 years coaching in South Carolina. I've coached been everything but defensive backs coach and a head coach up to this point. So I've been offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, everything. So we were looking for a chance to be a head football coach and raise our family in East Tennessee. We really liked it up here, and this opportunity came, and we were very glad we took it.
So this is your first opportunity to be a head coach too. How much of a change was that, stepping into that role and being that leader now?
Oh, I mean, it's a big change. You know, I've been blessed to have to work for a head coach, my previous head coach, who knew I wanted to be a head coach and helped kind of mentor me and get me ready for that. So he's more than I realized at the time, giving me a lot of opportunities to grow and to take on a little more leadership. At the time, I didn't really realize what he was doing, but it's a lot. There's a lot more to worry about, a lot more things to take care of than I realized, and it's been a challenge. But everybody here has been really helpful, and it's been a lot of fun.
I think that's how everybody is too. They want to be a head coach, but I don't know if they really know what all goes into it. Because you've got to do laundry, you've got to take care of the field, you got to clean the locker room and the weight room a lot of times. Also, would you say it kind of doubles your duties a little bit?
You know, I don't know if I'd say it doubles your duties in the terms of that stuff. It's all the other stuff you don't think of. It's the who's going to get the pregame meals set up, who's going to make sure that we're checking grades, who's going to make, all the little organizational stuff. Been on staff, so you delegate a lot of that stuff. I've had to do all those things before, but making sure everything gets done. You just don't realize quite how much there is to get done until you got to look at the whole picture. And it definitely doubles your stress. I don't know about your duties, but your stress for sure.
I'd say so. Let's go back 6 days in the past a little bit too. You stepped into your first official game as a head coach here at home. You played Unaka. Started out a little slow, ended up coming out on the winning side of that one, 54-18. Talk about how excited you were once that final whistle blew and the clock hit triple zeros and you were able to celebrate your first win as a head coach.
Man, it was almost more of a relief.
Mm-hmm.
The kids, we started off slow. The kids responded well. I felt like we had every opportunity down 12-7 at home in the first quarter to kind of fold up against the team that we felt like we had a pretty good chance to beat. Play well, and they're a good football team, but thought we matched up well. And to be down early, felt like, man, we could maybe see what these boys are made of here. And they really bounced back well. Brace and Mervin gave us a little shot in the arm, and then we responded defensively, and it was great to see the kids play that hard, play good, play well together, and to get our first win together as a team, as a family. That was pretty fun.
I talked to quarterback Nick Palazzo this past Saturday also on our Pizza and Saturday Morning Kickoff show, and he kind of had a little bit of a slow start too, and I talked to him a little bit. And was it kind of an adjustment for you guys just to kind of step on the field and get back into the motion of things, because it had been a long time since you had an actual game? First quarter, we've seen it in another game throughout the county too, where it took a team a long time to get going. So was it one of those things where you just kind of had to settle into the game and kind of catch up to the speed of everything?
Yeah, that was part of it. We also missed Nick early in the preseason there. So that was his first real live bullets. So that was an adjustment for him. Just all the moving parts. That's the first time we've done all those moving parts together as a program. And it takes some getting to know each other as a group. We haven't had the chance to build that culture, so it takes a little bit of time. And to give the boys credit, they stepped in fast.
And he had a great game too, 8 for 15, 119 yards, tossed 3 touchdowns. To have 3 touchdowns in your first game as a starter is a really good start for you.
Yeah, for sure. He played well, did what we asked him to do, and took the throws we had, and I was proud of him.
I think he talked about it too. I think that big hit that he took also kind of woke him up a little bit. He took a big hit out there on the field, and I think Mark asked him if that's what woke him up. And I think that would wake anybody up, honestly, if you're in your first game as a starter and you end up getting lit up like that. I think that kind of welcomes you into it a little bit.
It knocks the cobwebs off a little bit. Yep, lets you know what you're here for, and gets the blood flowing and the adrenaline pumping a little bit. He did well.
And the receiving corps backed him up too. I know Brock Rush and Isaiah Treadway had great games. Isaiah had 3 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. And then Brock had 2 for 25 and a touchdown. Those were the 2 receivers that he was able to find for his 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and Marco Rojas had a good catch. Nick gave him a good ball earlier, and he had a drop, which happens sometimes. But feel good about our receiving corps. They've had a good week of practice. We're pretty talented out there.
And then Brazen Mervin, that's a name we've talked about a lot the last 3 years. That's a name we're going to talk about for probably 10 more weeks throughout the season at least. He had a great game. He kind of got settled in also. Yep. It's been one of those things the last few years where if he's healthy and he's on the field, he's going to light it up. I think he had 12 carries, 141 yards, 3 touchdowns also.
Yep.
When you can have a first down on average every time you carry the ball, that's huge.
It's a pretty good day.
That is.
In high school football, it's high school football. If you win the line of scrimmage, you got a pretty good shot to win the football game. And when you got a kid who can tote it like that, it makes winning the line of scrimmage a little bit easier. So he's certainly electric. Now we got to keep him healthy, but he wants to carry it, and we got an offensive line who I think can block for him. So we're going to give the man the ball and let him do what he does.
It's very beneficial when you have a player as electric as he is too, because
Absolutely.
When you hear that you gave your running back the ball 12 times, usually you don't think that he's going to get over 100 yards with only 12 carries. But whenever he's able to churn out almost 12 yards on average per carry, that's pretty good. And shout out to his O-line too for being able to block ahead of him and give him that opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a good bunch up front there. Tony Hensley and Isaac Waycaster kind of lead that group, and they played well Friday night. They make it easier for a guy like Brayson to explode, but he's so talented. He's got great vision, so I look for big things for him this year.
And then your defense too, stepping up when they needed to. I know you talked about being down 12-7 early in the first quarter, and from that point on, I think you outscored them 49-6. They got behind, they knew what they needed to do, they sacked up, and they got the job done.
Yeah, bowed their neck a little bit right there. Hayden Roper played a great football game, had a pick 6, played well defensively. So I was really proud of them from a defensive standpoint. Kind of dialed in on some of what they were doing. We've got some stuff to fix tackling-wise, like every other team does in the country first week of the year. Tackling's never what you want it to be, but I was proud of them overall.
And I think if I remember correctly, too, you had a special teams touchdown also. Is that correct?
Yeah, Brock had a kickoff return for a touchdown. He actually had a punt return that went back for a touchdown and got it called back. He's absolutely electric with the football in his hands. You see I've seen some clips and heard people talk about it, but when you see it live for the first time like that, man, he's something special when he gets football in his hands. So that never hurts. Defensive touchdowns and special teams touchdowns are always good things.
That's exactly what I was going to go into next. If you were able to get one of them a game, then that helps your chances of winning. But whenever you're able to get one of each, then that gives you an even greater chance to win. And, that kind of opened it up for you, too. Got the offense going, got everything going on the sideline, too. I'm sure everybody was amped up and the electricity was over there. And I'm sure you were pumped up, too, when you were seeing things start getting the flow, too.
Oh, absolutely. These guys have worked really hard. We've had a long, tough summer and a lot of learning curves and growing pains together to see them go have success. It's incredible.
I want to congratulate you on your first career win as a head coach also. Got that one over Unaka, 54-18 as we mentioned. We'll go into the break though. Chuckey-Doak won't be going too far. They'll be playing at home again this week against Grainger. So we'll get a few messages on the screen and we'll recap that in just a second here on Grassroots Media.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts. The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greenville.
Tommy's Plumbing has provided professional plumbing services to the residents of Greenville, Tennessee for over 30 years. Our experience and reputation have helped us grow our business to add locations in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Tommy's Plumbing is local and family owned, and we offer a full line of plumbing services, such as kitchen faucet, shower faucets, commodes, and bathroom faucets, as well as drain cleaning. We also provide outside plumbing work, such as septic and sewer drain cleanouts, as well as repair and replace. Tommy's Plumbing pretty much does it all. Tommy's Plumbing is licensed, bonded, and insured. Our quality workmanship and passion to provide our clients with expert service is second to none. We guarantee we have the best warranty around. For all your plumbing needs, give Tommy's a call at 638-3662.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Billy Kaylor Show, where we cover everything on the Black Hole with the Chuckey-Doak football team. As always, I'm here with Black Knights head coach Billy Kaylor. So you're going into week 2 now. You went ahead and celebrated your win in week 1. Mm-hmm. You've got Grainger coming down now. Tough opponent. Yep. I know it was a barn burner last year up there in Rutledge, so they're coming down here now. They're going to be hungry for a win after last year's defeat. Talk about what you want to do to get things going early and what you need to do in order to carry out success and get a win.
Well, I mean, we just like I said with Unaka, you got to win the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. Offensively, we're really fairly similar, scheme-wise, alignment-wise. We do a lot of the same stuff offensively, so it's going to be a who can win the line of scrimmage. If we can win the line of scrimmage early on both sides of the football, I think we got a pretty good chance. They're a good football team. They're pretty decent up front offensively, fairly physical. They got some athletes, so it's going to be a good challenge for us.
Have you watched film from that game last year also?
Yeah, I have.
What are some of the things that you saw on film that you want to kind of carry over into this year's game too?
Well, I mean, I think we've got a chance to make some explosive plays. Mm-hmm. Explosive plays, 20 yards. We kind of say 20-plus yards is an explosive play. Those kind of help turn the tide a little bit. Yeah. So if we can take advantage of some of those opportunities, run the ball consistently, stop the run consistently, that's a pretty good formula to win a football game.
And I think for me, that game was the game that really made me realize that the Black Knights were for real last year, because it wasn't just a win. I think last year Chuckey-Doak solidified themselves as the real deal by winning that game by 2 or 3 possessions too. You have that same opportunity this year to do that here at home too. How big of a win would that be for you to defeat a team like Grainger, who has the pedigree of being a team in a higher classification than you going forward?
I mean, for us, we need to be 1-0 this week. Obviously, the better you play, the better you feel about it, but we need to be 1-0 this week. Now, obviously, they're a bigger school, and it certainly adds a level of difficulty. They've got more depth. They've got more kids. They've got more kids to choose from. So it makes it's certainly a step up and challenge, but I don't know that we're not focused on a team as a team of them being bigger than us. It's just let's go be 1-0 this week.
And when you line up out there on Friday night also, what can you expect to see from their defense? I know your offense is about as explosive as it gets throughout the county. You've got Nick Palazzo, who's starting to settle in. Brazen Mervin's electric. Brock Rush is electric. You've got Isaiah Treadway out there who can make things happen. And you've got Marcos Rojas on the outside now. What will they see whenever they line up on Friday night?
They're going to be even front. They're pretty good in the front 4. They are long and athletic on the back end. So it'll be a challenge for us. I think we match up well, but they're a pretty good football team. They went toe-to-toe with a physical Claiborne team last week and played them in a tight football game and didn't back down at all from that smash-mouth style of football that Claiborne plays. So I think we've got our hands full. It's really going to be on our 5 up front to handle that thing.
Switching over to their offense also, what will your defense expect to see also? Are they more of a ground and pound team, or are they more of an air raid team?
They certainly want to put the football on the ground. Okay. They want to run the football, and they scheme-wise do a lot of what we do. So for our defense, this week a lot of it's been like running against our offense.
It's not hard to scout that.
No, it's not too hard to scout it. Obviously I like those schemes because we run them, but you kind of know what makes it work and what makes it not. So you're able to kind of coach that up a little better. But like I said, they're similar offensively. They're pretty good up front. They've got a good little H-back. They're talented. They've got a couple guys who can tote it. And then when they do decide to throw it, they've got some guys out there who make some plays. So we're going to have to be on our toes across the board defensively.
And I know we've never done a show before either, but the thing that I like to ask whenever I close each show out is I like to ask, what are the 3 keys to success that you need to carry out in order to get a win on Friday night?
We need to be sound in the kicking game. No unforced errors in the kicking game. We just talked about, how explosive those touchdowns can be. So we need to make sure we're sound there. We need to be able to run the ball efficiently and effectively offensively. And we need to make sure that we can stop the run on defense. If we can do those three things, I think we got a pretty good shot.
All right, that's all we've got for this week. Kickoff set for 7:30, correct?
Yes, sir.
It'll be 7:30 here on the Black Hole, so if you're a Chuckey-Doak fan or a Chuckey-Doak supporter, come out here and support them when they play the Grainger Grizzlies on Friday night. That's all I've got for you this week, Coach.
Appreciate
you for sitting down with me. It's a pleasure to
Absolutely.
talk to you. And thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Billy Kaylor Show. We'll see you next week here on Grassroots Media.